parent. When my son was in preschool in 2010, I attended board meetings where plans were drawn up for Cranbury Elementary to be renovated, and we were told we were next on the list. It is 5 years later and nothing has been done. What would be your plan to help alleviate the overcrowded schools in our district? I know that a facility study has been conducted on the schools in our district, and it seems everyone knows that many of our schools are old and are in need of serious renovations. But how will you make sure these renovations actually get done? How will the need be determined?
Okay. The issue with the overcrowding is a huge issue. I believe that it's actually something that's contributing to the achievement gap. I know there's a school right now, there's 26 children in one class to one teacher, and I can't imagine that all those children are going to leave learning anything. I know that Dr. Adamowski and Mayor Rilling have been speaking with facilities, and they are doing a study to see if there should be a new school built or a renovated building turned into a school. And I agree 100% that has to be something done sooner rather than later. I think it's affecting our children's learning process, and that is the Board of Education's responsibility to make sure that our children are learning properly and exactly at the level that they should be at. So I hope that I answered that question.
Okay, Mr. Lyons.
Yes, we've been aware for a while that we have crowding problems in our schools, and so the board approved a $250,000 facility study about a year ago, which is now nearing completion, in order to give us an overall view of the school system. If you look back, it's been decades since the school system did anything like this, and so projects tend to be done on a haphazard, sort of ad hoc basis. We wanted to create a master facilities plan for the school system, which will address a number of things. One, imbalances in the distribution of students through the school system. Two, conditions of the schools. There are some that need more renovations than others. And three, long-term planning for either expansions or new construction of schools. Now, one of the problems that we have in this city is that we get very low reimbursement rates from the state for not just ECS, not just the educational cost sharing, but also for construction of new schools. We get about 23% of the cost from the state, whereas cities like Bridgeport, Danbury, and others get 80% from the state. So if you go to those cities, you see them building new schools all over the place because the state's paying the whole freight. Norwalk, which only gets 7% of our budget from the state, has to fund these things through its own capital budget. And we don't have the kind of resources that the state does, so we have to parcel these things out. And one of the things that we need to do with the facilities master plan is to do not just a 5, probably a 10-year plan, I think, for expansions of certain schools, maybe even construction of a new school, and facilities renovations that will be going to Mayor Rilling and others looking for a lot of money, but it's been done before. You can fund these things over a long-term period of time once we prioritize them, and that's what the facility study is designed to let us do.
Okay, at that time, Mr. Borrello.
Again, it's clear that the facility study is really going to tell us, where we need to expand and where we don't. It's premature to just, let's say, shoot from the hip and make a decision without reviewing what the study says. A school like Jefferson, which is overpopulated, it's clearly overpopulated, needs some sort of relief. Even though it's a school that has continually performed well. So the correlation of overpopulation to achievement gap, that's not really the story at Jefferson. So again, being a candidate from District A, it's important for me to focus on specifically Jefferson, knowing that it is just busting at the seams.
Okay, anything from Group D?